Last week, I put out a video where I discussed the biggest movie sequel drop-offs of all time. Today, we're talking about something in the same ballpark. We are talking about 10 movie franchises that got worse with every sequel, but in this case, this is not my list. I am reacting to an article. Let's talk about it. While I'm talking, be sure to join me down below in the comments section. Let me know which movie franchises do you feel like got worse with every new entry. Also, if you enjoy these types of videos, this is being streamed live to my supporters over on Patreon. They are the ones that submit these articles to me. I also have a box office show, also do a weekly Q&A. If you've ever checked out my videos on Sean Chandler Plus, most of those are pulled from my Patreon live streams. If you enjoy the channel, if you like to be a part of live streams, consider joining over on Patreon. The link is down below in the description. And let's get started. Franchise number one that they picked for franchises that got worse with every single entry. The original Hellraiser franchise, with the latest entry being Hellraiser Judgment. Do I agree that this franchise got worse with every single entry? No, but man, you don't like, if you have never watched the Hellraiser franchise, this is like the craziest like journey into direct-to-video sequels that you'll ever see. That there is like the first 3 big wide release, and then there was a 4th one that might have been released in theaters, but barely. And then there's like 7 or 8 straight that were direct-to-video. And they just get like, they're all like wandering around. There's no continuity. They're all just like these individual standalone stories. They change out who plays Pinhead. Henry Cavill shows up in one of them. Like, Henry Cavill is one of the stars of a Hellraiser movie. At one point in time, they stopped getting money, and so they made a movie for like $100,000, and it's one of the official in-continuity Hellraiser movies, and it's like mostly found footage. Like, it is a bizarre watch. Do I think that each one is continually worse than the other? No, because like I think I like Hellraiser 2 a little bit more than Hellraiser 1 because they actually like go into this hell universe and stuff, and there's like a little bit of fighting back, and so I like 2 more than 1. And then the actual, when you get into the whole bogged down in the mess of direct-to-video sequels, I mean, you're kind of fighting for the bottom, but I don't think that each one got worse. There's just a lot of bad in there. But I mean, at the same time, the general sentiment that this franchise was just like a slow decline is generally speaking pretty true, or a decline is generally speaking true, in particular once you get past the first 2. Number 9, Smokey and the Bandit. Gotta be honest, I have literally never seen any of the Smokey and the Bandit movies, so I can't chime in too much on this one, as I have not seen them. I don't think I even realized there was a Smokey and the Bandit 3. Is Reynolds even in the 3rd one? So maybe this is a perfect example that it went so far off the rails after like a classic original, and then it's like, wait a minute, they made a 3rd one? I thought there was only 2. What? 3? Okie dokie. But I haven't seen it, so I can't chime in beyond my surprise at that one. The Hangover trilogy. Generally speaking, I'll go with yes on this one, even if I don't even remember what I said in whatever rankings I've done over the Hangover franchise. I think there's a huge drop. Like, the first one, I think, is just one of the best comedies of just like such like a fun, carefree, non-pretentious comedy from the last 25 years. And then it's like they got full of themselves and just lost it with the next 2. And for different reasons, I think that 2 and 3 utterly fail. 2 doesn't do anything new. It just goes to a new location and does it nastier. And then 3 does something really different. Like, let's try something wild, crazy, and new. Turns it into an action movie with lore and a backstory that explains why everything happened in the movies, which is a terrible idea for the Hangover franchise. So, like, one of them has no new ideas, and that was the mistake, and the other one has only new ideas, and that was the mistake. So, I suppose, I'm not going to argue against this one, but, you know, it's another one of these ones where it's like the first one, woo! And then it's like we're fighting for the bottom. David Gordon Green's David Gordon Levitt. That's Joseph Gordon Levitt. That's a different person entirely. David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy, 100% yes, totally agree on this one. Where I go, Halloween 2018, I think my second favorite Halloween movie. Like, that's really good. Halloween Kills, big drop off. I enjoy the carnage candy, but I think it's a really flawed film where they made some just bad choices. And then Halloween Ends. What was that? I think it is just such a misguided film that is both trying to be a Michael Myers Halloween movie and spin it off into an anthology series. And by trying to tell these two different stories at once, completely ruined the movie and turned it into a movie kind of competing with itself. And just it's a Halloween movie, but it's trying to be Christine. It is just bizarre. Totally agree with this one. The Matrix series. I have not re-explored The Matrix Resurrections since I first watched it, I guess 4 years ago. I've only seen it one time. So seeing it in the theater, there was something that was like, wow, like I'm seeing a new Matrix movie. And I went in with more tempered expectations for a variety of reasons after my experience with the other Matrix sequels. So, in all fairness, I have not rewatched The Matrix Resurrection to know exactly where it lands. Generally speaking, my feelings about the film with time have been like, oh, why did we do that? I mean, that's been my feelings about all of the Matrix sequels ever since the architect showed up and gave his weird speech in the Matrix Reloaded and deconstructed the entire lore. Ever since that happened, I've been like, what on earth is going on here? Everything I loved about the first movie, you just undid it. And I felt like the second movie, it has some stuff that hasn't aged very well because it has rubber band CGI people or rubbery CGI people that they couldn't pull it off yet. It was like groundbreaking, but not there yet at the time. And they're trying to do something inventive. Just went a little bit too far. But at least it tried things in the street chase. The car chase is phenomenal in it. And there's nothing in Revolutions that's nearly as interesting. It's a much more straightforward action. Though the fight at the end with Smith, that made me think, oh, they could do a really, like, if they do Superman now with what the flying they're doing here, that could be really cool. And that turned out to be true. The comic book movies and stuff had a big breakthrough after Revolutions. Resurrection didn't have anything action-wise that was interesting or groundbreaking. It didn't even try to either. So, as of right now, I will say I agree with The Matrix. But, like, the 3 and 4 are kind of for different reasons, equally disappointing. The Insidious franchise. No, I believe in my rankings, like, I think the third one I liked more than 2. Like 2, I didn't really like 2 very much at all. Just felt like a weird rehash that was kind of like The Shining-esque. And then the third one, Lee Winnell, who went on to do some other stuff, he took over and they kind of picked a different focus. And so I like that one more. So I definitely don't, certainly in a straightforward sense, hold to this like at all. Not a strong opinion there, but yeah, I don't know these ones well enough to go too specific about it. I know I didn't like the Red Door all that much, and I didn't like the one before that, Skeleton Key, all that much. But 3 was solid. The Die Hard series. No, this is incorrect. Universally, Die Hard with a Vengeance. Number 3 is held up as better than 2. 2 was a little bit too much of a rehash, like we're doing the same thing just at a different location. Like good, enjoyable. It's more Die Hard, but it's a little bit too much of the same Die Hard. And then Die Hard with a Vengeance, widely regarded as the best Die Hard sequel. and like a real famous Jonathan Hensley script that was originally a spec script called Simon Says, and the first hour of it is almost word for word, except they switched out people's names, and then the end changes a little bit. But it's the only Die Hard movie where the most famous New York City cop is actually in New York City. Like John McClane, super famous New York City cop. And then in the other Die Hard movies, he's not in New York City. In this one, he actually is, and you get a feel for him in his home terrain. So I think just because of that, they don't get worse with each entry. And then I think there's a debate between which is more enjoyable, 2 or 4. I like 4, but a lot of people don't like it so much. But in my brain, there's a competition there. So I would disagree with this one simply because of Die Hard with a Vengeance. The Rambo series. This is another one that's a pretty quick, easy. No, I reject that one pretty quickly because, once again, to a large percentage of the Rambo fandom, number 4 is the second best. Pretty, like, the Rambo fandom, people latch on to different things because Rambo, or First Blood, is so different from Rambo 2 and 3. And then Rambo 4 is so different from all of the rest of them. So generally speaking, there's a lot of, like, Last Blood is nobody's favorite. Like, that was such a bad idea to do that. So easy to put that one in last. But so many people, me included, Rambo 4 is the second best. And Rambo 2, of course, is the most iconic. It was like the right movie at the right time, so it's a massive hit. But there's not like in my brain, there's different merits to Rambo 2 and 3. Both of them are big, slick 80s products. So, and they lose all of the weight, the actual weight of the original film. The second one has its own messaging and flag waving and stuff, but very different, of course, from First Blood. So I reject this one because 4, like, almost everybody, unless you just reject the overt violence of 4, you have 4 over 3. But many of us have it over 2. Like, 2 is a product of its time and an important 80s film. But with time, it's not nearly as held up as great of a movie. Pirates of the Caribbean series. Honestly, I haven't watched through all of them since the last one came out. Fun fact, I became the ranking guy in summer of 2017. And basically that summer I was like, I'm going to rank whatever new franchises come out every single week. And it started with Alien Covenant, I think. And then one of the next ones was Dead Men Tell No Tales. That was the last time I watched through all of the Pirates movies. I've rewatched the first one since then. I believe the second one, maybe the third one. I don't remember. But I've never rewatched Dead Men Tell No Tales. I've been kind of hoping that my kids would get into them to give me a reason to rewatch them. But so it has been 8 years since I last watched the last 2 movies in this series. But like I liked Dead Men Tell No Tales more than which one came before that. Like, my order is, they're all kind of funky. I always, like, for me, this is one where the first one is just one of the best blockbusters of all time. And then there's a big drop off. None of them come close to the original one. Like, Dead Man's Chest really frustrated me in a lot of ways, but so did At the End of the World, or whatever, the World's End, or whatever that one was. But I like Dead Men Tell No Tales more so than the one before that. Was it Blackbeard or whatever? So I could see an argument here because the original, of course, is the best. And then you have the other 2 Gore Verbinski films that were just these massive epics. And, some of the most famous and celebrated CGI of all time comes from those 2 movies. Not as good on a story level, overly ambitious, doesn't fully work out, but like just as Gore Verbinski's blockbusters are gorgeous. But then I think when you look at the last 2 there, I definitely like Dead Men Tell No Tales more so than I almost remember nothing about the 4th one, like at all. Final one on here, Jurassic Park, but it splits it. Jurassic Park and Jurassic World trilogy. I guess from when this article came out, it was just through Dominion. It does not include the new one. I, with the original Jurassic Park trilogy, easily agree. Jurassic World franchise, I don't agree, but I don't oppose it either. If you don't include the new one, I don't oppose the idea. I prefer Dominion to Fallen Kingdom because Fallen Kingdom is just really off-putting to me. It's a movie I don't enjoy watching because I don't want to watch dinosaurs go extinct. That's not entertainment. That's not entertaining to me. And because they told a story that was just about them going extinct and then becoming like zoo slaves for terrorists with laser guided raptors or something, like weapons for terrorists, and in a underground zoo at a mansion or something, I was like, what is this? So Dominion, I can make fun of Dominion and the Locusts and Alan Grant going to Evil Apple and like doing corporate aspect. Like I can pick on that movie forever. On just the biggest, like if you're just talking about biggest waste of a premise of all time, Jurassic World Dominion could take the cake for just completely crapping the bed for being given an obvious great setup for an enjoyable Jurassic World movie. So right there, just go Jurassic World. The dinosaurs are all over the world. That's the trailer they released. That's the pitch for the movie. It's right there. And then they made it this other thing. But as in terms of just a watchable blockbuster, Jurassic World Dominion to me is an entirely watchable blockbuster in a way that Fallen Kingdom is a really pretty looking movie that I find very unpleasant. I wish that director had made a different script. So I disagree, but I don't oppose this pick. If you throw Rebirth in there, I like Rebirth more than Fallen Kingdom and Dominion by a good bit. All right, which ones do you think each sequel got continually worse? What are your picks? Let me know down below in the comment section. And real quick, before we go to our final article on Patreon, what are your picks?